Hello, I'm Abby from Sutton Schoolswork. Welcome to our Easter assemblies online. Easter is a very important time for Christians. At Easter time, we remember and celebrate the reason why Jesus came to earth. He came to make a way for us to be friends with God. Are you sitting comfortably? Let's begin. Let's start with a game. What bird am I? I'm going to tell you some facts about a bird. Can you guess what bird I am? I have the largest eyes of all land animals. My eyes are bigger than my brain. I'm a bird, but I cannot fly. What bird am I? I am an ostrich. There are many of these birds in London. I am a great problem solver. I was used to deliver messages during the World Wars. What bird am I? I'm a pigeon. I am often brightly coloured. I have a curved beak and live in tropical places. I can learn to say hundreds of words. What bird am I? I am a parrot. I am large with shiny black feathers. I live in woodlands, farms and cities. I am very loud but clever. What bird am I? I am a crow. I am an adult male chicken. I have a bright red comb on top of my head. I am well known for loudly waking people up in the morning. What bird am I? I am a rooster. A loud rooster features in our Bible story today. Listen out for it.
Peter was one of Jesus' disciples. He went everywhere with Jesus. He was one of his helpers, and Jesus was his friend. Shortly before Jesus was arrested, Peter said to him, "I will never leave you. I am ready to go with you, both to prison and to death." But Jesus told Peter, "Tonight, before the rooster crows 3 times, you will tell people that you don't even know me." After the soldiers took Jesus away, Peter was scared. He watched from a safe place. "You were there with Jesus," a girl said. "I don't know what you're talking about," he replied. Another person saw Peter. "This man was with Jesus," he said. "I was not," said Peter. "I don't even know him." More people said, "You are one of Jesus' followers. You talk exactly like him." "I tell you, I don't even know him," said Peter. Then he heard a rooster crow. Peter remembered how Jesus had said, "Tonight, before the rooster crows 3 times, you will tell people that you don't even know me." Peter went away and cried. He knew he had let Jesus down. Peter was sorry he hadn't told everyone that Jesus was his friend. Question time. How many times did Peter say he didn't know Jesus? Which bird made a noise just as Jesus had predicted? How did Peter feel when he knew he had let Jesus down?
Amazing! Less than 24 hours after promising that he would face prison or death for Jesus. Peter denied that he even knew him 3 times. Peter was so convinced of his loyalty to Jesus, and yet, moments later, fear overwhelmed him. Perhaps even more amazing is that despite knowing that Peter would deny him, earlier on, Jesus made a promise to Peter. "So I tell you, you are Peter. I will build my church on this rock. The power of death will not be able to defeat my church. I will give you the keys to God's kingdom." Matthew 16, verse 18 and 19. Christians believe that God can use us to fulfill his plans, even when we make mistakes and let others down. Do you remember last week's story? Jesus had been sent by Caiaphas, the high priest, to be judged by the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. Let's find out what happened next.
Pontius Pilate, the governor, asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus agreed, "It is just as you say." But when all the people mocked him, he didn't reply. Now once a year, Pilate released a Jewish prisoner, anyone the Jews wanted. There was a very bad man called Barabbas in jail. So Pilate asked the crowd, "Who shall I release, Barabbas or Jesus?" Stirred up by the Jewish leaders who were jealous of Jesus, the angry crowd shouted, "Release Barabbas!" They wanted Pilate to crucify Jesus. Pilate sat down to think about what he should do. He wanted to please the crowds. "Have nothing to do with Jesus," his wife warned. "I had a bad dream about him last night." Once again, Pilate asked the crowd, "What shall I do with Jesus?" "Crucify him!" they shouted time and time again. Pilate didn't want to punish Jesus because he knew that he was an innocent man. He washed his hands in front of everyone to show that he did not want to be held responsible for Jesus' death. The crowds continued to shout, "Free Barabbas! Crucify Jesus!" So Pilate released Barabbas and turned Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. The soldiers led Jesus into their hall. They put a scarlet robe on him and made him a crown from some plaited thorns. "Here is the King of the Jews," they joked.
Now some questions for you to think about. If you're in a small group, perhaps you could take some time to discuss your answers. If you're on your own, you could write down what you think. Why do you think the crowd shouted for Barabbas to be freed? If you were Pilate, what would you have done? It's less than a week since Jesus rode into Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover, and so much has happened. Jesus has been let down by his friends. Judas betrayed him. Peter, James and John slept as Jesus agonized over what lay ahead. Peter denied that he even knew Jesus. Now, Jesus is dressed in a scarlet robe with a crown of thorns over his head. Crucifixion awaits him. Come back next week to find out what happened.